Have you ever wanted to make your own hat or accessory in Roblox? Maybe just to show off your creations or possibly start to rake in the Robux? Well, today I'm going to show you exactly how you can create UGC items in Blender. I'm going to start off by showing you how to find a possible niche, the basics of modeling in Blender, texturing, and then also how to upload this to Roblox. Before we get started though, I am going to let you know that you're going to need a total of 2,250 Robux to upload an item to the Roblox catalog. Before we even start modeling, it's important to find your niche. Roblox catalog is massive, but there's still plenty of opportunities for items that will sell well. Think about what the players are wearing and what's trending right now. I like to sort by best selling for the week to be able to find trends in what people are currently wearing right now. An example of this would be this 6'7" chain I found on the catalog. It already has 22,000 favorites and it just came out last month. You can also look at some of the hobbies that you have in real life and see if those items exist in the catalog already. An example of this is the kickflip emo I decided to create after finding a strong interest in the skateboard items, but there was no kickflip emo. After you've found a niche and an item to create, it's time to start modeling in Blender. Now, to begin modeling in Blender, one of the first things we actually need is the Roblox default avatar to give us reference when we're modeling in Blender. Now, to export this to Blender, simply go to the avatar and then click setup, or click character, and then just click the block avatar. Before we export this though, we are going to want to 0 it, so just type in 0 for the position. Now, once we've zeroed this, we can just right click and click export selection. Just go ahead and save that to your desktop as an OBJ, and then hop into Blender and click File, Import, OBJ. Find where you saved it, and it should be perfectly zeroed on your scene. Now, the next thing I usually do before modeling is I pull up some reference images of whatever I'm trying to model. In this instance, I have these pirate hats that I'm going to use as reference images for what I'm modeling. If you can try to find a side view or a front view, it also makes it a lot better for modeling because you have accurate proportions for where the item is supposed to be. This video isn't going to go super in depth into modeling in Blender, but I do plan on making a video covering this more in depth soon. Roblox has capped the UGC items at 1,200 vertices and 4,000 triangles, so try to keep that in mind when you're modeling in Blender. You can't really make stuff too complex with geometry. After you're done modeling, you're also going to need to UV unwrap the model depending on what you use for texturing. Now, you can UV unwrap by simply going to the UV editing tab and then selecting your object, going to edit mode by pressing tab and then clicking unwrap. I also usually just end up going with the Smart UV project, which does a decent enough job where I don't need to start individually adding seams to my model. Once you have an unwrap that looks something like this, it's time to get to texturing. Now, to export your model to a different software like Substance Painter, simply go up and click File, Export, and export as an FBX. Now, one thing to keep in mind is just to click Selected Objects Only, so it'll only export this nice hat we have. And also for the scale, usually I do something like 0.02 or 0.01, as that usually fits better with the Roblox scale. Now, once we've exported this, we can go ahead and hop into Substance Painter. Now that we're in Substance Painter, we're just going to click File, New Project, and then for the template, I just go with the Blender Starter Assets template. And for the file, just click whatever you have exported. Sweet, now we have our model all ready to be textured in Substance Painter. I decided to texture my hat using some nice leather, and then adding some detail for the brim. Oops. Nice little gold for the little pirate skull. Adding some texture for the feather. And then also some wear and some dirt, just to give it a more realistic, grounded look. After you're done texturing in Substance Painter, you can simply go up and click File, and then click Export Textures. You can go ahead and save this wherever, but for the output template, you're going to want to click Roblox Surface Appearance. Also for the size, make sure it's at 10,000 by 24. This is the maximum size that Roblox will allow, and click Export. And this will give you these nice texture maps for your image. After you're done in Substance Painter, you can go ahead and import your model so you can put that image texture on it. With the mesh selected, just click on where it says texture ID and choose your image texture. And that is my workflow for just simply getting textures from Substance Painter into Roblox Studio. Now, I'm assuming a lot of you guys are actually going to go with texturing in Blender. I don't actually use this too much, but I'll show you how I know some people texture in Blender. So the first thing we're going to need to do is use a color palette and set that up as a texture. So if you simply click New, delete your Pencil BDSF in an image texture, and find wherever you have your color palette saved as. And simply align this color node with the surface on the material output. You'll get this weird gradient, but I'll show you how to fix that in a minute. Now that we're back in the UV editing mode, the first thing I like to do is just basically scale down all my maps so I can get some flat colors. Get this nice blue, and say maybe I wanted to shade these outer edges a different color. What I can do is just select them using Alt and Shift to select these loops. And maybe I want like a darker blue. I can just move this on my color palette that I have, and it'll give me this darker blue. And this is pretty much the basics of texturing using a color palette. I honestly don't use this method too much because I have a tool like Substance Painter, but I've seen some people honestly do a ton of cool stuff with this. Another way to texture is using Photoshop, but I won't cover that in this tutorial. Now that this is all textured, we can go simply click Export, FBX, and call it whatever. Make sure to only click selected objects only and put the scale at 0.1 or 0.2. Also make sure to apply the scale before you export your FBX. And once we have that exported, we can simply bring in our model. And fit it roughly to what we want it to look like on our Roblox head. Once that's done, we need to just go down to Texture ID and add that color palette we saved from earlier. And it'll color it exactly how we had it colored in Blender. Next up, I'm going to show you guys how you can actually submit this to Roblox and have it be a UGC item using a plugin. I am using the Asset Creator plugin, which makes creating assets just super easy in general. So just click the plugin and then click accessory, click the accessory you want to align, boom, pirate hat, click the character it's aligned to, which is currently this, and you can click what type of accessory it is. Mine is going to be a hat, and classic. And then it'll basically just place this 10 studs above your character and make it into a nice object for you. With that done, you're also going to want to make a thumbnail for your asset. So with the asset selected, I'm also using a plugin called Thumb Maker, which is super nice. And basically just align your plugin with where you'd want to make a thumbnail and click Make Thumbnail. With all that done, it's finally time to upload this to Roblox. So with your accessory selected, hit right click and click Save to Roblox. Now, you have to make sure that you select avatar item and that you choose a hat or whatever accessory you're making. You're also able to select the creator if you want to have it be under a Roblox group and just name it whatever. And submit for 750 Robux. After you submit it, it'll take a little bit to go through moderation, and on your creator tab, you will be able to submit it once it's done with the moderation process. In the Creator Hub, under Creations, Avatar Items, and Hats, you can see whatever you uploaded, and you can go into the settings for these and set whatever you want. If you want it to be limited, you can select that. For mine, I'm going to keep most of this pretty much the same. This all looks good to me. And then you have to pay the publishing advance. Now you do get this back as long as you sell enough, but you can finally click Publish Item. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much, and feel free to leave comments about other tutorials or whatever you'd like to see on this channel next.